what are the limits of human creativity? Because now there's a whole new level of things that are possible thanks to the AI.
People are saying how AI will never create something that humans can because AI doesn't have emotion. But I don't think so. I think they do. They will have emotion. They will know how to replicate emotion as well.
The number one thing anyone can do if they're worried about losing their job is to become a master at these AI tools.
Welcome back to Modular Mindset, everyone. This is Michael. I'm Chris. Today, we're going to be talking about AI. What do you think of when you hear the words AI?
Well, it used to mean like evil robots taking over the world and killing everybody. But now it's just become part of our everyday conversation. And so now it became generative AI, which means AI that has taken previous content and can come up with a new way to use it, right? So, but yeah, it's a crazy time to be alive right now with this Chatgpt and Midjourney and all of these tools, and it's only the beginning, right? Because every day there are new tools coming out. We might all lose our jobs by the end of the week.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. You run a marketing agency, and so are you scared of AI?
Well, we actually use it on a daily basis, but we don't use it in a way you think. We actually use it to help our workflows to work faster and more efficiently. For example, with brainstorming for even content ideas for our blog, for this podcast, we might look at ChatGPT to help out with ideas. There are issues that are coming out right now. For example, if we were to write a blog post for our client using ChatGPT, there are copyright issues that are coming out where people are saying we cannot just use it to publish content because that's based on other people's work, right? ChatGPT repurposes other people's work to then give you a new blog post. And so this is something as a marketing agency owner I have to be very careful with. I can't jeopardize my clients like that.
But what difference does it make, though? You researching yourself and writing it with your mind instead of asking GPT to write it. You still get the information from Google, which GPT does too.
Yeah, we don't always get the information from Google though.
Okay.
For our content writing, a lot of times we interview people, interview customers for case studies. As far as something that is like an evergreen content, that's not a case study. What we normally do is we read academic papers and try to write a blog post that is somehow easier to read than those academic papers. So in a sense, you're right. From that perspective, I think ChatGPT is also scraping all the academic papers online, right? So it's a very weird time right now where people are not sure, is it legal? Is it infringing on copyrights? But what everyone agrees on is that it's making everyone's life better. People are working faster, and content just appears on the screen in a matter of seconds.
Do you think you're getting more creative or less creative by using AI? And your team?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I have seen people, no one on our team, but I've seen other people here use it in a very lazy way. For example, I've gotten emails from clients written in ChatGPT, and it's kind of like,
how do you spot that is written in ChatGPT?
Because it's written in a very kind of like generic and formal way that nobody talks like that here.
Yeah.
But you could imagine from their perspective, like a Taiwanese marketing person who needs to write a longer email in English. It must be a godsend for them, right? Because it's kind of like if I were to write an email in Chinese, I probably need an hour to do that well, whereas in English I need 2 minutes. So I don't blame them, but I know that when that lands in my inbox, I'm just like, come on, guys. I know you didn't even edit. You just did ChatGPT cut and paste. So here at my team, we know that we don't use ChatGPT like that, but we do use it to augment our workflows, to do brainstorming, and then some of our PM tools like Notion or have embedded AI inside them. And so we're still experimenting with that.
Okay, you mentioned your team doesn't use AI in that way, but how do you think other people using AI to do all their work affects your business and your team? Because
other people like who?
let's say your competitors are using AI to do all these stuff like copywriting, blog posts, and have you noticed them? Have you thought about what if their posts perform better with AI?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of equate AI, artificial intelligence, to food in a way. For example, if you buy a Snickers bar, it has artificial ingredients, another AI. And if you buy something like Godiva chocolate, it's going to be all natural ingredients, hopefully, or some kind of artisanal chocolate. And the price difference is going to be much higher. So I think over the short term, a lot of people are going to win with using AI tools. But there is something that tells you this is made by AI when you read it. I know when I see AI content, it looks great, but I feel slightly uncomfortable when I'm like, okay, I know this is done in a very I know this is done very well. This but I can feel that it's not natural. It's kind of like eating a Snickers bar. It tastes good in the moment, but you know you're not eating something organic and natural, and you feel slightly uncomfortable about that. So I think there's actually, the more AI is being used, there's actually going to be new opportunities for people who focus on HI. Is that a word? Is anyone saying that? I think it's just
HI?
me. Human intelligence.
Human intelligence. Okay.
I feel like human intelligence is going to become more valuable when only for people who are doing things at that craftsmanship level. So, for example, I used to read an SEO blog, and it was written by a woman who used to kind of talk like a sassy black lady. So she talked about SEO topics like a sassy black lady, and it was super entertaining to read her blog, even though it was talking about SEO topics, which can be super boring. Meanwhile, competitors would probably just like talk to Chatgpt and be like, I need an article about SEO and this topic and that topic. But I'm always going to go back to that because I like her tone of voice, and I can feel like this is, she's writing this content from the heart. And I don't think AI can do that yet, or
Right.
maybe it can. Sure.
I saw a LinkedIn post somewhere. I don't know who wrote it, but he was saying how as AI advances, we're going to need more of human creativity, and human work is going to get more valuable over time. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that, but I am also wondering if AI
Can replicate that,
can
right?
replicate the most kind of like highest level of human work.
Yeah. I think that's where AGI comes in.
What's AGI?
Right? Artificial general intelligence. If I'm not wrong, it's kind of like where it knows how to think like a human. It will take information, learn like a human, but at a much faster rate, and basically human but better.
So that's when the robots start taking over the world, I think.
Yeah, because people are saying how AI will never create something that humans can because AI doesn't have emotion. But I don't think so. I think they do. They will have emotion. They will know how to replicate emotion as well at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the exciting part as an agency owner is that AI has the potential to supercharge everything we do. And I'm not 100% sure how yet, but I know that the people who master AI tools are going to have a huge edge over those who kind of use it to write an email, or they use it in a lazy way. I think there's a way to use AI in a way that can completely transform the way you work. And I think that takes a level of human creativity. So sometimes, for example, like right now, we just asked our project manager to come up with podcast topics using AI, right? And so that's a kind of like a way that we're using AI to kind of like augment our workflows. One thing I'm doing, I'm hiring a full-time AI jockey. Actually, it's an intern level position, but I want somebody to be like sitting in our office, experimenting with AI tools, seeing how they fit in our workflows. And I think that that's going to benefit us over the long term, and it's going to benefit our clients. And I think that everybody should be doing this. Everybody should have a dedicated AI jockey who's just spending time playing with AI tools and figuring out how to fit that in workflows. I mean, are you using AI in your film production yet?
Every day. Every day.
Yeah. What tools?
I don't know about film production, but actually, yeah, editing, whatever it is, we're using AI now. For example, editing. If I were to edit this podcast, I would use an AI subtitle generator. Right?
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't just manually input it anymore.
Yeah.
That's too old. And I think AI can also help you cut between the person that's talking, so you wouldn't have to do it manually now.
Right.
Yeah. Well then, because everything's getting easier as far as content production, everything's getting easier with AI. What are you afraid that everybody can do what you're doing now, as far as production wise? Even the general public could create amazing videos now, right? Through their cell phone.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone, even without AI, anyone can do what I'm doing. It's more just like, are they willing to put in the time, the work, and the effort to do what I'm doing? I think I'm not afraid of that. But I mean, I do think you make a good point that AI is giving our time back. So a lot of people who are putting AI into their workflows, I mean, they're going to find themselves with a lot of extra time. So now with all that extra time, it's like, how do we use that time to then grow the business, help our clients? And these are questions that I have to think about too. And what I'm doing is I'm asking my project management team to kind of use their time more and more to help out with some entrepreneurial activities, business development, marketing for the agency. And so I think the great thing about AI is that we're all going to get our time back. And then now it's up to every person what they're going to use that time for. Hopefully it's for human creativity, developing our creativity. Previously, for example, if I had to write a blog post, that might take me 2 hours. But if I can do that in 30 minutes, so now I have an hour and a half, I'm hoping to use that time to, pursue something creative. I think humans are happiest when they're being creative, and it's kind of like our natural way of being. And everyone should be excited that AI is letting us kind of have more time to be creative.
And what do you think are the downsides of having AI right now, as far as in your marketing space?
Well, the downsides, there are some clients of ours that have kind of basically fired us after ChatGPT came out.
Wow.
And
after ChatGPT?
Yeah, we kind
because of GPT, or
they haven't told us specifically it's that. They kind of like made some excuses. But I know, because it's some of our SEO clients, I know what they're doing is they're basically using ChatGPT to run their blogs. And I don't think they realize it, but their blog content is going to be very much like a ChatGPT blog, because we never used that for our blogging. We always had professional writers. And so I think some clients, they think that they are doing themselves a favor by saving money, because it is an investment to work with us. But I think over the long term, they're going to realize that those blogs, because I know that people who are experimenting with blogs made by AI compared to humans, how they perform on Google and SEO, the human blogs are still getting more engagement and more traffic than the AI blogs. And so this kind of like it's a short-term win for them, but long-term, I think they're hurting themselves. So the downside is that there are people who are gonna get kind of lazy. They're gonna use it as kind of like just a solution, like a one-size-fits-all solution. But I think in the end, humans are incredibly sensitive to being scammed, right? Mm-hmm. And there is going to be that sense that when I read this blog article, I'm going to know, like, I'm kind of feeling scammed because
we don't like being lied to.
Yeah, I knew a robot wrote this.
Yeah.
The information is useful, but something is missing, right? There's some human element that's missing, mm-hmm. and that kind of would make us feel uncomfortable. Yeah.
Do you think it's kind of like, I wouldn't remember an AI written SEO article, and then I would remember someone that personally wrote it, right? With a lot of personalization and emotion in it.
Yeah, and the storytelling, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like, mm-hmm. if you read Thomas Friedman, who's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist who writes for the New York Times, whenever Thomas Friedman writes an article, it's always about politics or economics. So it's kind of like a boring academic subject. But he'll start out every article with a story. And he'll be like, I was in the airport in Beijing and I noticed there were people talking over there. So I went over there and I talked to them. And like, how could an AI ever write an article like that? Like, the reason he's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist is because he uses his storytelling to then tell a bigger story about, global politics.
So does that mean people that knows how to use AI and that works faster, we get better opportunities over time?
Absolutely. And brands that are using AI in a smart way will beat their competition. And right now, it's kind of like the beginning of the internet in 1996, where a lot of people were like, well, I heard about the internet. It sounds kind of cool, but it's probably a fad, or I guess I'll figure that out later.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, there are guys like Jeff Bezos, right? Or even, like there were those early internet companies that came out in the 90s, and now they're the multi-billion-dollar companies. And so right now, any brand that goes all in on AI tools, AI for workflow, AI for creativity, as long as they're doing it in a responsible way, meaning they're not just publishing whatever the AI tells them. I believe that they have 10 years later, they're going to be way ahead of their competition. But I'm just not too sure if people are adopting it fast enough, like especially here in Taiwan. I have seen a lot of stuff on my Facebook where people are kind of like talking about Chatgpt because it does, Mandarin content. But I feel like there's not that sense of urgency to learn AI quite yet in the marketing world here. I don't know about you.
I want to go back to the 1996 because I wasn't born yet, right?
Oh God, don't remind me how old I am.
The Web 2 time, right? Would you consider that Web 2?
Yeah, no, I think Web 2 is social media. And Web 1 was just like the raw internet.
I think Web 2 was the .com era.
So what's Web 1?
Like the one-dimensional internet where not like computer kind of.
As I understand, Web 1 was just like websites. Web 2 was when we got social media. Web 3 is going to be
now.
Web 3 is like the metaverse.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Decentralization.
Anyway, so Web 2, you were talking about how people didn't follow Web 2 that much. They were just like letting it slide. Where were you in that? Where were you in that time, and what was your position?
Well, no, like in the 90s, we had like a.
Did you believe in it? Were you the one that was like, oh, this is gonna be the next big thing, I'm gonna go for it, Or were you the one that's just letting it slide?
No, when the internet came out, like I was probably 14 or 15 years old when we had our first internet connection at home.
Right.
I know you were like born with a smartphone in your hand, but
no, I'm not that young. I think that's more 2005 to 6 people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I spent a lot of time like just chatting with strangers back then, when that was like the fun thing to do. Like you go into a chat room with strangers and you're just like, hey, what's up? And then you're talking to somebody who's across the country and learning about their life. No, I spent tons of time doing that. I don't know if that was time well spent or.
But did you know it was gonna become big? Like it would take over your life at that time?
I think so, because I was spending hours on it, right? So I feel like whether I consciously knew that was going to be something, probably not, but I just knew that my time that I used to spend reading or playing outside, I was spending more and more time on the internet.
What's your most used AI tool right now in your company?
I think we use Chatgpt to kind of just solve problems when we're kind of stuck.
Aside from GPT, because I know everybody uses GPT right now, right?
Yeah.
So aside from GPT, any small AI tools that you think, oh, this is gold, people should check it out?
Yeah, like we use Taption for the...
Right, I know Taption.
Yeah, the auto-generated subtitles.
Yeah.
We actually don't really use Notion AI because it's kind of just rehashing GPT. So right now we're not too heavy on the AI tools yet. But that's something that I want to ramp up starting this year. And when we get our AI jockey on board, I have no idea what he's going to do, or she. But you'll have to ask me that question like maybe in a couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with the advancement of AI, I wanted to know, how do you plan to use these tools to help your clients? And are your clients firm believers of AI right now? And if they're not, what would you say to them?
All right. Well, I think that the opportunity with our agency in AI is to help our clients develop more of their strategy rather than just their content production and deliverables. But we really want to be more like getting involved in their strategy for go-to-market, for product development. And I think as an agency, we have an opportunity to use AI to, for example, help out in a product research stage, competitor research, product development, go-to-market strategy. I think before you would need whole teams or hire a research firm to research what is the state of the PC industry in 2024, for example. But with AI, we can pull up that information real fast. And then we can then develop a strategy that's custom made for a client that we've worked with for a couple of years because we know them so well. So now we're just combining the AI information with what they're trying to achieve. And this could be very powerful for them. And so this is how we plan to use AI to help our clients. It's less about content creation and it's more about that kind of deeper thinking, the strategy, brainstorming. And so, yeah, it's an exciting time, to be an agency right now. And I'm also curious if clients are going to be open-minded to these ideas, if they're going to feel like we're cutting corners.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, Taiwanese tech marketing managers, they know what's going on. They're on the ball. They know what all these AI tools are capable of.
Yeah.
I think there won't be too much resistance is because we've already developed trust in this client relationships. And as long as there's trust, then that trust should continue on during this whole new AI era. Yeah.
Yeah. There you have it. Hope you learned something about AI in tech marketing, especially in Taiwan. Yeah. Thanks for listening. This is Michael. I'm Chris.
See you in the next one.
See you in the next one.